Hi, my name is Robin Wong. I'm a photographer based in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. I have with me the original Olympus EM1. In this video, I want to talk about why I love using this camera for street photography. Let's do this! This Olympus OM-D E-M1 was launched 12 years ago in the year 2013. This is an old camera, but it is still a perfectly capable camera today. It was the flagship level professional grade camera from the Olympus mirrorless micro four thirds system. And I've been using this camera for my professional shoots over the years. Of course, now I have better cameras already. After all the abuse, this camera is still fully functional. This is a great testimony to how durable and how well constructed this camera was. And I still use this EM1 today, but not for my professional shoots, but mostly for my personal projects, especially for street photography. I'm bringing you guys along with me to this beautiful Bukit Bintang in downtown Kuala Lumpur. I'm using my Olympus 25 f1.8 on this EM1, and let's find some photographs. There are many reasons why I love using this original EM1 for my street photography, and I've actually said many of them before, but I don't care. I want to repeat them again in this video. Reason number one, excellent handling. This EM1, it has the DSLR-like beefy grip, which is so comfortable to hold, and it balances any lens you put on this camera very well. I typically shoot on the streets continuously for 2 to 3 hours non-stop, and I have no issue handling this camera with any lens. I don't feel any discomfort on my fingers, my wrist. The handling in this EM1 is just amazing. Reason number two, I think this camera has the perfect size. It is not too large, it is not too small, and the weight is just nice. And I find that it doesn't compromise in terms of handling, and yet if you want to keep the size as compact as possible, just chuck in a tiny prime lens like this Olympus 25 f1.8, and the setup is very minimal. Reason number three why I love this EM1, it has tilt screen. Most of the newer micro four thirds flagship cameras, they have swivel, fully articulated screen, and I understand that's perfectly fine because these cameras are designed to do some video work as well. But for street photography, I definitely prefer to work with tilt screen. It is just so much easier and natural to use the tilt up and down for my creative compositions. Although this EM1 is already 12 years old and it doesn't have the latest technology and capabilities, I find that in terms of autofocus performance, the camera does very well. It doesn't have the fastest autofocus compared to the latest cameras today. It doesn't have the human AI face and eye tracking, but for quick grab, I find that the autofocus is still fast enough and reliable enough to capture critical moments. Also, I love that this camera has built-in electronic viewfinder. That's like reason number 5 now. And the electronic viewfinder panel, I know it doesn't have the highest resolution compared to what we can find in newer cameras today, but it is still very good. I don't wish that it is any better, knowing that this is an old camera. It gets its job done. It's still very smooth, it's bright enough, it's large enough for me to compose my shots comfortably. And not to forget, reason number 6, which is very important. This camera has a powerful built-in 5-axis image stabilization that can help to steady handheld shots. And to me, that's very important. It just boosts my confidence in nailing the shots. Reason number 7, sufficient image quality. I acknowledge that the 16 megapixels micro four thirds sensor in this camera, it is a little bit outdated now, but if you shoot in good lighting condition, if you know what you're doing with the camera, you can squeeze out plenty of fine details, very good dynamic range, amazing colors, and I think image quality wise, this EM1 can still produce excellent results. I have no issues whatsoever for my personal projects, and I'm always very happy with the images I get from this camera. And I've talked a little bit about reason number 8 already, which is the colors. The colors from this EM1 when it comes to rendering human skin tone, and overall the colors coming out from the camera, it looks very pleasing, very natural, very lifelike. There's just something about Olympus colors that I just cannot get enough of. I always say that you don't need the latest and greatest gear to take great photographs, and this original Olympus EM1 is a great example of that. It is an old camera, but it is still very capable and you can take some amazing photographs with it. Of course, it doesn't have the latest tech, which means you have to work a little bit harder, make sure you have your shooting discipline, and make sure that you get the shots right in camera without relying too much on post-processing or AI, denoise, or all these other lazy tools. I know they can be useful, but using this old camera, it just makes you a better photographer because you just have to put in that extra effort. Also, as a bonus, these older cameras, they cost really cheap in the used market. You can easily find one in great condition for like about $200, $250. At least that's true here in Malaysia. And yet, you can still enjoy photography. I don't think the camera is lacking in terms of any basic functions. You don't have the latest tech. Of course, if you want them, you have to pay for them. But as a photographer, it is not about having all this latest technology to help you to get your shots. Sometimes you just have to be creative. Sometimes you just have to work with what you have, work around the weaknesses and maximize its strengths. That's how you can be a better photographer. I think this EM1 can help you to achieve that. That's all I have to share about this Olympus EM1 from the year 2013 and why I love using it for street photography. If you found my sharing beneficial, if you've enjoyed looking at my photographs, please consider buying me a cup of coffee, or you can contribute directly to my PayPal, or you can join as a member on this YouTube channel. Any support, any contribution will go a long way, will definitely help me to continue making more content. And do you agree about this EM1 being a fantastic street photography camera? Let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. Until the next one, please go out and take more photographs. Bye-bye.